All right, artists, welcome back. Today we are going to talk about Cubism. Cubism is a style of art where the artist tries to draw a picture using multiple viewpoints. So it's like the fourth dimension. Here's a good example where the artist is trying to show us all the sides of the table. The back leg, the front leg, the side leg. He's kind of tilted the table forward. So the perspective looks wonky or off. We are going to create our apples today using Cubism. It has a lot of geometric shapes. The plane is broken up into different shapes and perspectives. Foreground, midground, background all seem to collide together. And we see the front, the back, and different points of view. So we're going to start again by drawing an apple. I am not actually going to even look at an apple this time because we've had so much practice drawing apples, we know what they look like. We want to draw our apple large. Again, fill the paper, think of an interesting composition. So I'm going to start by drawing what I know is the shape of an apple, and I will use a ruler to create the cubist part. And I'm going to put my apple, there's my shadow. I'm going to put my apple on a table that maybe goes like this. Now, I'm going to use a ruler and I'm going to divide my apple basically into geometric shapes. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm just going to draw some lines across my paper, and maybe I'll stop at one point, not do the cast shadow, but then bring my line here. So it goes through part of my apple, but not my shadow. So it looks like it's picking up some different shapes there. And I don't want my shapes too small, because if they get to be too small, they're going to be hard for us to color in. Whoops. Again, I'm going to draw my line in some parts, skip another part, and then continue my line. So it looks like it's going through part of my apple, but not my entire apple. This is what will give us more of that interesting cubist look. And then maybe I'll do a line across here, maybe like this. That shape, if I did it right there, would be way too tiny. So I'm going to do it here, but not in the background because I don't want that small shape. So I'm just kind of looking for where I might need to break up my apple. I don't ever want to make lines going straight up and down, straight through the middle. Avoid that, artists. Once you get some lines across your paper, the next step is to use an eraser, and you might want to erase a few lines now. We can decide what lines stay and which lines disappear. So I could use my eraser and erase some of my lines and keep some of my lines. I think I need a line going this way. Again, I don't want too many lines. There, I like that. So maybe I want to erase, well, I don't know, part of my apple line right here. I could do that. And I think I'll erase part of this apple line. And maybe I'll erase that line. So just some of my smaller lines are going to be erased. And they could be the lines you drew or the apple line. I think I'll erase that line right there. Then once I get the lines erased that I like, and I get it to where I like, I'm going to use a black Sharpie, and I'm going to very carefully now outline my shapes. We use lines to create our shapes. So I'm going to go very slow and outline my shapes. You can use the ruler again if you want to go back over your lines. But I'm sure with a steady hand, artists, you can do your outlining very carefully and neatly without a ruler. This will also help us know what lines we erased and what lines we did not erase. All right, once I've outlined all my lines with the black Sharpie, now I'm going to use markers, all different colored markers, and I'm just going to color my shapes in. And I want you guys to get creative coloring in your shapes. Maybe you can do some, well, if the marker doesn't work, put it on my desk. It's the end of the year, artists. We're going through and using what we have left. So maybe I'll do a darker value along the outside edge. Go nice and slow. Look at how I'm using the fatter part of the marker and just using the lines neatly to color in. And then maybe a lighter value like the pink right here in the middle. And I can blend those two colors together. Maybe put some purple on top of the yellow or the pink. So you can get different values as you color. I might do that again with blue and purple. That looks good. I kind of like the way that turned out. So I might do the same thing over here with some blue. You can do that with colors that are in the same color family. Yellow and green would work nice together. Blue and green, blue and yellow. And we're going just nice and slow, taking our time to color in our apples. And when we're all done, it's probably not going to look a whole lot like an apple. So take your time and color it in.